The night the door closed behind me, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't the one being thrown away. They were. My name is Eliza. I am 32 years old. And this is the night my life finally began. The air smelled like rain and polished wood. The house, my father's house, felt unfamiliar, even though I had grown up walking at halls. People filled the living room, whispering in soft tones, their sympathy rehearsed and hollow. I stood near the staircase, unnoticed. As always, that had been my role for 22 years. Invisible daughter. Quiet observer.
Convenu absence.
My stepmother, Victoria, stood at the center of the room, dressed in black silk, her posture perfect, her expression carefully curated. She wasn't crying. She was performing. Every guest who approached her received the same slow nod, the same gentle sigh. My husband meant everything to me. And every time I watched her hands, steady, controlled, unshaken, because grief doesn't sit that calmly. Not real grief. Not the kind I felt tightening in my chest. I hadn't even had time to process it. My father was gone. And somehow I already knew I was about to lose everything else too. The funeral ended before I could say goodbye. People left in waves. Cars disappeared down the long driveway. And silence settled over the house like dust. I was standing in my old bedroom, packing slowly, when I heard it. The sound of metal. A lock. Clicking. I paused. Something cold moved through me. I stepped into the hallway, then down the stairs, then to the front door. And there she was.
Victoria.
Holding a new set of keys. She didn't even look surprised to see me. She just smiled.
Calm. Certain.
You should have left already.
I certe her.
What are you doing? Her expression didn't change. Change in the locks. My heart skipped. This is my home. No, she said softly, almost kindly. It was your father's home. The difference hit like a slap. I stepped closer. I live here. You used to. Her voice was gentle, but her eyes were not. They're coming tomorrow to finalize everything. It's better if you're not here. I swallowed. Everything? Yes. She tilted her head slightly. You didn't think he'd leave anything to you, did you? I didn't answer. Because I didn't know. Because my father and we weren't close. Not after she came into the picture. Not after everything shifted. She watched my silence and smiled again. There's a hotel down the street. I'll even pay for one night. One night. 22 years reduced to one night. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger. I felt clarity. Keep the house, I said quietly. She blinked. Just once.
Surprised.
I turned back toward the stairs. Take whatever you think is yours. I walked up slowly, calmly, packed one bag, left everything else behind.
Clothes. Books.
Memories. None of it mattered, because the truth was, I had never really lived there. When I stepped outside, the rain had started. Soft at first, then heavier. I didn't run. I didn't rush. I just walked. Down the driveway. Past the gates. Into the night.
Free.
The hotel room was small.
Clean.
Temporary. Just like she said. I sat on the edge of the bed and finally let myself breathe. Not cry. Not yet. Just breathe. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Miss Eliza? Yes. This is Mr. Harrington, your father's attorney. I closed my eyes. I assumed you'd call tomorrow. I wanted to confirm you'll be present for the will reading. I almost laughed. Is that necessary? There was a pause. Yes, he said. It is. Something in his tone shifted everything. Tomorrow, I said quietly. I'll be there. The next morning I wore white. Not black. Not grief. Just clarity. The office was cold. Minimal. Professional. Victoria was already there.
Of course she was.
Dressed perfectly. Sitting straight. Owning the room. Or, at least, thinking she did. She looked at me when I entered. Her smile was sharp. I see you found somewhere to sleep. I didn't respond. I just sat across from her. Mr. Harrington entered moments later, files in hand, expression unreadable. Thank you for coming, he said.
Victoria Nadid.
Let's not waste time. He opened the folder, adjusted his glasses, and began. The first part was exactly what she expected.
Jewelry.
Accounts. The house. Her name appeared again and again, and with each mention, her posture grew taller, her smile wider, her certainty deeper. I sat still,
Silent.
listening, waiting, because something told me this wasn't the whole story. Mr. Harrington turned a page, then paused. This section, he said slowly, is to be read only in the presence of both parties. Victoria frowned slightly. Go on. He looked at me, then back at the document. Mr. Jonathan Hale leaves the commercial property located on Westbridge Avenue.
He stopped.
Adjusted his tone. To his daughter, Eliza Hale. The room shifted. Silence fell heavy.
Victoria blinked. Once. Twice.
That's not correct, she said quickly. Mr. Harrington continued. The property is currently valued at approximately $12 million. Her face strained. That's impossible. It includes the attached business holdings, rental units, and investment portfolios associated with the building. I didn't move. I didn't speak. Because this wasn't news to me. I had built it. Quietly. Carefully. Under my name. With guidance from the one person who had always believed in me. My grandfather. My father had known. He had always known. Victoria turned to me slowly. You? I met her gaze.
Calm.
Steady. Yes. Her voice trembled. You own that building?
Y do.
She shook her head.
No.
No, that can't be right.
But it was.
And she knew it, because suddenly, everything made sense to her. My silence.
My absence.
My lack of interest in the house. She had mistaken it for weakness. It had never been that. Mr. Harrington closed the file. There is one final note.
Victoria barely breathed.
Mr. Hale requested that all parties be informed that this arrangement reflects his belief in earned legacy, not assumed entitlement. The words landed heavily, and for the first time, Victoria had nothing to say. Outside, the sun was rising. The storm had passed. I stepped out of the building slowly, feeling something unfamiliar.
Peace.
Real peace.
Not forced.
Not borrowed.
Mine.
Wait. Her voice stopped me. I turned. Victoria stood a few steps behind. Different. Smaller. Why didn't you tell us? She asked. I studied her. Carefully. Would it have changed anything? She didn't answer. Because it wouldn't have. She looked down. Then back at me. I thought you were... She couldn't finish. I smiled softly. I know what you thought. She swallowed. I was wrong. Yes, I said gently. You were. And that was enough. I walked away. Not angry. Not bitter.
Just done.
Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's simply becoming everything they said you never could be. That night, I stood at the top floor of my building. City lights stretched endlessly below.
Alive.
Moving. Breathing. Just like me. For the first time, I wasn't watching from the outside. I was part of it. My name is Eliza. I am 32 years old. And I was never the daughter they ignored. I was the future they never saw coming. And sometimes, silence isn't empty. It's power. Waiting. Growing. Becoming. Thank you for listening to Relaxing Drama Stories, where silence speaks louder than revenge, and strength doesn't need permission to exist.